back, Universe, to Tom and Mark Off the Rails.
A currently unnumbered episode.
Oh, mystery episode.
Well, we're trying
episode.
to get as many as we can so we can
we'd like to
serve the audience. Take advantage of when a good guest pops up.
And who was our guest?
Today we have Josh Janetzke. Mr. Josh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Mr. Josh. Sure. What do you want to know?
Well, you're Josh Janetzke. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
All right. You sell Tupperware?
I do sell Tupperware. I've been doing that for 12 years now.
Wow.
And what else do you do?
I'm a jack of all trades. I've had about every job you can think of. I've been a nanny. I've been a dog sitter. I've worked at daycare. Actually, Susan and I worked at daycare together for a while.
Both young and old.
Both young and old.
Adult daycare is a big industry nowadays.
It really is, and it was a good job. We enjoyed ourselves there. I teach. I've been subbing for years, and now I'm working as an art teacher and also an assistant at another school, an educational assistant, just helping out where I'm needed and filling in. So always keeping busy.
He also has like a gazillion siblings.
I do have a gazillion siblings. That's the exact number.
Yeah.
So what are you? Fourth, fifth?
I'm the third of seven.
3 of 7.
Third of 7. So
Right.
It's always a full house.
Is that Septimus? Seventh son of
Septimius? I don't know.
It could be.
Septipus?
It could be.
All right, it's time for that part of the podcast right now. Movies with Mark.
Hey, universe. So we decided to watch The Forbidden Room, a 2005 classic. Another Canadian film, the trifecta of
We're
Canadian
getting
films.
off Canada soon.
Yeah.
But I have to make a confession. I started watching this movie, sat down with Susan, we're going to watch it together, and it was
bad.
it was awful. It was practically unwatchable. Halfway through the movie, I had to text Tom and just say, do not watch this film.
Forbade me from watching the film.
I forbid you to watch The Forbidden Room.
Yep.
So basically, the movie claims to have 17 storylines. I didn't count.
Okay.
I just started jotting down the beginning just so I could make a mental note of it. You know, first we start out with this skeezy old pervert man who's telling us how to take us a bath like it's something out of a 70s porno.
He's got
Awesome.
a bit Hugh Hefner.
We then cut to these guys in a submarine.
Wait, you need an old man to tell you how to bath?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we cut to these guys in a submarine. Then we cut to 4 lumberjacks. Then we cut to these red wolves people. And it keeps jumping around over and over again.
Never came together?
And the acting at first was, at best, okay.
Okay.
It felt like I was watching a portfolio of like a student film. This is college kids' entire portfolio of work now edited together into a super movie.
Okay.
And it was very abstract, very hard to follow. And then about halfway through, some actual actors wander into the film, which frustrated me even more.
Bill Murray.
No, well, I didn't know these guys' names, but I recognized them. There's a guy named Matthew Amalric.
All right.
He was the bad guy in James Bond: Quantum of Solace. Not the bad guy, but he was like a side
bad guy.
villain guy. Yeah. And the other guy is named Udo Kier, who's this very German-looking guy who was actually in one of the Blade movies. He's like a random vampire in the first Blade movie. Not a random, one of like the head vampire table
He's in
people.
a ton of different stuff.
He's been in a bunch of things. That was the most highest profile thing I could find for him. But I saw them and I started getting mad because I watched all this bad student acting, and then out of nowhere, these 2 guys just show up.
Awesome.
And they stick around for like 3 stories, like playing different characters, and then they're gone.
So how was it set up, like the story went? Because we were forbidden to watch it, so Molly and I did not watch it.
There is
I
no
said,
storyline.
Literally, there's no larger arc. I couldn't tell anything. It does kind of start to double back on itself.
What
toward
is
the
it
end.
even about?
I don't know.
I watched the whole
Wow.
thing, and I couldn't tell you.
That was my problem. Is I've seen a lot of bad movies. I rejoice in bad movies because they're fun to watch. But the problem is there wasn't even a narrative happening there. And at the end, you're kind of like, wait, it's over?
What was that? Yeah, about.
Well, the first 20 minutes before I fell asleep, because at that point I'm like, I'd rather sleep at this point than watch the movie. I couldn't believe it was going to be 2 hours long. I'm like, if this is going to be 2 hours of this, we're in for a long ride.
And I was watching the clock. It was not moving quickly.
All right. So,
Tom, you wanted to talk about
this
speaking
new
of movies with Mark. There's
Movies
an app.
with Mark. We have a new app that is, I think, excellent it's called Run P. It is an app for people with prostate problems or pregnant women.
Speaking of
Or just people
Mark.
with overactive bladders.
Overactive bladders. It tells you, like, say you want to go see Avengers Age of Ultron. It will give you a notification.
In the
say,
theater. You're watching it live as it came out.
And it will buzz you and say, this is a good time to pee. You're not going to miss anything.
That's amazing. That is a great app.
And they will also give you alerts of what happened while you were gone. So you can come back.
Nothing
Be all
happened.
caught up.
Nothing happened.
See, that's actually one thing I want to do at the movie theater where I work. I want to take the sound from the movie and pipe it into the bathrooms during the film. So when you go to the bathroom, you can at least keep up with the dialogue.
Well,
Yeah,
that
but
would
if
only
you've got a
work, though.
Multi-screen theater, how do you do that?
I work at a one screen, so
Oh.
it happens to work where I am.
Well, then you should have individual little screens in the stalls.
Ooh, little LED screens.
What were you thinking?
I
What
know.
movie were you just in? Like that the airplane where you can pick different stations.
Yeah, you should have
In
it
the
pumped
stall.
through because I think keeping your phone out while you're in a bathroom might make some people uncomfortable.
Unhygienic.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have-
just you may be taking pictures.
We don't have urinals at the Rivoli, so you get the privacy, male or female, of a stall.
Oh, congratulations. See, like, here's Age of Ultron. Ultron says to Peter, you and I can hurt them, but you will tear them apart from the inside. So it's telling you what's going on while you go pee.
Don't even need to see the movie. I'm just going to go to the bathroom for 2 hours.
Just gonna pay $15, go
Yeah.
take a dump for 90
It's a
minutes.
very
and then
nice
go home.
bathroom.
So yeah, I'd say with the Movies with Mark section, this Run P app. And they will tell you, like, here's a little picture right here. About 9 minutes until the next pee time.
Ooh.
So you know. Oh shit, I gotta hold it. Only 9 minutes, we're good.
Minutes, we can do this. Rally.
Yep. 1 hour and 1 minute away. 4 minute pee time. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're pregnant, my sister, she said one of the worst times she ever had during the movie was Titanic when she was pregnant.
Well, that's a lot of water, too. That's a hard
yeah,
movie.
that's a hard movie to sit through.
You're
With.
sitting there holding it in, and you see the water pouring down the hallway.
Oh God, I gotta piss! Son of a bitch. So yeah, Run P. Download Run P. My dad
Awesome.
has prostate issues, so maybe he'll need it. Well, he fell asleep during the last Star Wars movie, which was weird.
Wasn't exciting enough. I haven't seen it yet still. I'm a little bummed.
I know. I wanted to do a whole spoiler Star Wars episode. Have you seen it, Josh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
What?
saw it Thursday before it came out.
Oh my god. Who do you
Dude.
know? I thought I was your hookup in movie theaters.
You used to be. No, we went to the midnight showing actually with Dad. We dragged him out of bed, made him go with us. So me and two of the brothers.
Can I ask you a little spoiler question? Can we give a little
Go for
spoiler?
it.
You can ask me whatever you'd like.
What was with Ghost Yoda? How come he can hit Luke in the head with a stick now and then pull lightning out of the sky? Why? He's a ghost.
Because we have that technology now.
That made no sense. That really pissed me off. Like, wait a minute, you're a ghost. You're dead. You can't just come in and... It was like he was real still.
Yes. I have no idea why they chose to do that.
Whap, 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 whap on Luke's head with a stick. It's like, wait a minute, you can't touch him. You're a ghost. That never happened before. You can only communicate. That's it.
Well, I hate to be I haven't seen it. I hate to be the Star Wars purist, but Yoda only hit Luke when he was putting up his act of "I'm a crazy little man. I'm not the Jedi Master."
He did that for a little bit in the movie.
Yeah, he went. And I was like,
But no, he was telling Luke, like, don't be so close-minded, dumbass. Like, whapping him.
it's like you and Foz.
Yeah, that's how every day of my life is my dad just whapping me with a stick in the face. Even though he's alive. But I guess when he dies, he can still do that, so I'm
Ghost
never
Foz is
safe.
gonna haunt you.
All right. So, again, back to the movie. We're not ruining Star Wars too much.
Okay.
Forbidden Room. What'd you think? What'd you
I
give it?
would
Wait a minute.
forbid the audience from watching it. I have very little to say.
Forbidden Room.
So Forbidden
17
Room-
storylines. That's perfect for a movie.
It sounded so interesting, but it was just too hard to follow. If you love all this art house stuff, you might get something out of it.
No,
I
you
didn't.
won't.
I didn't think anyone else would enjoy it, so I nipped it in the bud and killed it.
All right.
So I finished it though. I'm a trooper, but it was hard.
Okay. Do we have a movie for next week yet?
We do not yet. I haven't had a chance to go through my queue and pick one out.
Okay.
We will do that shortly.
Please, no more Canada movies.
What's that? More Canadian movies?
More Canadian movies. This is so America. Let's not. All we've watched is Canadian movies.
That is a coincidence. I did not set out to pick Canadian movies.
Yeah. More.
I didn't know it was Canadian. I swear. Didn't know she was your sister.
All right. So, what'd you give it, Mark? Rate it.
0.
0.
0 out of 5.
Whoa. Susan.
0.
Shut up.
I couldn't. I've seen a lot of bad movies. This is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen because there was just no. And I've seen art house films. I mean, I went to art school. I've seen a lot of student work. This was a really bad film.
Even as little mini shorts, they weren't that interesting.
And they somehow, even with that, managed to work in lesbians. 2 ladies in a bathtub bathing each other. I'm like, really? Out of all that, you still.
That's in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, in the first 5 minutes. And I'm like, what?
Starts out strong.
Yeah, it does. It sounds great.
And, I mean, whatever. Like, if you're going to work in nudity, it has to make sense to me. And all of a sudden, random.
How frontal was the nudity? Was it?
There was some bush in this film.
Bush?
Yeah.
I forget where it was, but I'm going, oh, hello.
So, again, it goes back to student work.
Welcome to the jungle.
There's just, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't, not at all.
All right.
It has to,
yeah,
there has to be a reason.
We are so the wrong audience. So just leave it at that.
I don't know whose audience this would be.
I'm sure there's someone out there who likes this kind of stuff. It ain't me.
All right. All right, you guys want to... I got a little thing here. Do you want to know how to control diabetes when eating out at Japanese restaurants?
I would love to know how to control diabetes at Japanese restaurants.
Or as Wilford Grimley says, diabetes.
Diabetes.
Got the diabetes. All right, it says, slow down. Yeah, that salmon roll is delicious, but if you throw it back in 6 quick bites, you're likely going to end up overeating. Use your chopsticks, and even if it's a struggle, because it will help you eat more slowly. Wasabi and ginger can also help slow you down. Having a bite of pickled ginger in between each roll is meant to be a palate cleanser and can really make you savor the roll. I don't like pickled ginger.
It's really
Josh, what do you think about pickled ginger?
No.
You big sushi guy?
No, I'm not. There's a lot of flavors in there that I don't care for.
Like what? What do you... I don't like the crab and the...
I'm just not... I'm not a fish guy. Never have been. So any kind of fish roll or anything like that. Just... I will say the interesting textures of the fish eggs popping in your mouth. That's off-putting. So...
No? We made homemade, bro, when I caught my salmon. It was very good, actually. It just tastes... we put it on a cracker.
Just like caviar, or...?
I don't know if I've ever had caviar. I just know it tasted like when you dunked toast into egg yolk. That's what it tasted like.
Huh.
So, all right, next step to avoid diabetes.
Who gets diabetes from raw fish, anyway?
Yeah, you gotta
I always thought it was like a sugar thing.
Here's the other problem. Has this person ever been to, like, a sushi place? It's really expensive. How much are they thinking you're gonna get? Because you get, like, a
roll or two.
Yeah, a roll or two is like, you're talking $20 already.
I know some Chinese buffets that have sushi, and I'll get, like, a dozen rolls.
That's not sushi.
Yeah. But Mark knows how to make a Chinese buffet pay.
Yeah. I know how to make them kick you out.
Yeah. Wasn't I kicked out of a China buffet with you once?
Yes.
All right. Dude was looking at me weird. All right.
And no universe, he wasn't a Chinaman.
No. Just a regular man. All right. Choose low sodium soy sauce. Let's be honest. Can you really taste the difference?
I thought soy sauce was just liquid salt.
That's all it is. How do you do low sodium? Just watered down? Diabetes is strongly linked with heart problems, and keeping your salt intake in check is healthy for your blood pressure. Now that, universe, is not necessarily true. You can have as much salt as you want if you drink enough fluid. So it's not necessarily the amount of salt you're taking in, it's the lack of water that you're taking in.
Flush out the system.
Yes.
Water is for the weak.
Water is for the living.
I never drink water ever, and everybody keeps.
How
saying,
are
like,
you still alive?
Coffee
don't know.
and red wine.
Apparently, coffee is a diuretic, and that's all I drink. I don't know. I don't need a lot of water, I guess.
Damn, you got a vampire wife here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid anything with the word tempura. That means breaded and fried.
Hey, sign me up.
Molly's giving me a look. What?
That's some of the best stuff.
Tempura is? Alright. Look for sashimi. You'll get the fish without the rice, which is a huge carb savings. Isn't that more expensive?
Fuck you, dude.
Whoa!
You can't have sushi without rice.
You can, but it's not as
No,
not the same. It's
it's
not as good.
Good.
Dead fish.
Well, again,
I'm not having
Have you
sushi
seen
with
the-
whoever wrote this.
have you seen the portion size of sushi?
Well, now they're saying carbs are bad for diabetes. When ordering appetizers, look for miso soup, edamame,
Edamame?
or salad. Green
I'm gonna go to the sushi
salad,
place and get a salad.
seaweed salad, or hijiki salad, which are
Seaweed salad's actually not bad.
yeah. For sushi, stick to 1 or 2 rolls and choose brown rice when possible. Whoa. It's not always written out on the menu. Just ask the server if you can get your rolls with brown rice. You're supposed to make your sushi rolls with brown rice? What the? Have you guys ever had that?
I have. They
Brown
have
rice
it
rolls?
at this Sendix sushi bar.
Sendix?
I know. I do that every once in a while. I mean, it's not a high grade
Stay
sushi.
classy, Susan.
Sendix.
Sendix
Message
sushi
from the
bar.
female
Hey,
prison. Send
Wednesdays-
all the dicks you got.
Wednesdays
Sendix.
they have $4.99 sushi day, so you can get a whole little tray of sushi for $4.99.
Those-
Yeah, we did that.
Sending dicks your way.
Me and Susan went got Sendix sushi and set by Silver Creek.
That's right. It was classy. We had microbrews and sushi.
All right. Last one. If you're ordering an entree instead of sushi, look for grilled chicken or fish options.
So don't have sushi.
So don't have sushi. When you're going to buy sushi, you should probably not eat sushi.
Hey, if you love the sushi but you got the betas, don't have the sushi.
Avoid entrees with teriyaki or miso sauce, which are typically high in sugar. Make sure to load up on vegetables, either by choosing a veggie side or having a veggie-heavy appetizer. This just sounds like this person would suck to eat sushi with.
I got news for you, guy. You don't like sushi. That's all.
Yeah. All right, so Mark's got a story.
Well, I was just paging through and I found an interesting story about a couple in Florida who built a sweet 2-story treehouse.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, sign me up, right? But the neighborhood says it's got to go. And
Why?
they're getting charged, what did you say, Tom, like $50 a day?
Yeah.
Until this thing is
It
ripped
costs
down.
$30,000 to make.
And my knee-jerk reaction is to come to their defense, because tree houses, that's awesome. But it is 2 stories. The story says they didn't get any associated building permits. And as someone who is renovating a home, you have to get building permits or you're going to pay in the long run. So,
but if I nailed together a treehouse in your backyard...
I know, what if we just put something together for, like, the kids? It's just like a pallet up on a tree.
This is a very nice-looking treehouse, though.
Yeah, but didn't you say they're renting it out as a B&B?
That's what the story kind of alluded to. It said they own several other rental properties. I'm like, whoa,
Other
what
tree
does
houses?
that mean? Well, I mean, if it doesn't appear to have
I got a monopoly
plumbing.
on tree houses.
I mean, it's a tree house after all.
Treehouse slumlord.
But, I mean, if it has electricity, because in Wisconsin, you can't, at least in where I live, I was thinking of putting a suite above our garage.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. You can have electricity out there, but if it's a separate building, you can't have plumbing unless it's physically attached to the structure.
Oh.
The main structure. Because you can't have, like, outbuildings with plumbing for some reason.
Is it outhouse plumbing? Just shit into the ground?
You can't have outhouses anymore.
What?
No, you gotta have indoor plumbing. Susan is playing charades with our guest, Josh. I guess they're not interested in tree houses.
Yeah. That's a perfect thing to do while we're...
All right. Susan's bored. So let's move on to the main interview here.
All right, let's get this going.
Mr. Josh.
Yes.
Mr. Josh needs some more whiskey.
All right, so the universe spoke. Mark listened. We're moving on to the interview. Josh,
Yes.
Tupperware.
Tupperware.
How did that start?
You know, interesting enough, I had no intention of becoming a Tupperware consultant. I was in college, and some of the girls on campus were apparently having parties.
Oh, it was a Meet Girls
And
kind of
well,
thing.
they came to our room. They were good friends of ours, and they said, "Hey, you guys should come to the Tupperware party. We need numbers." And we said, "Yeah, we're not going to a Tupperware party." Very funny. And then they said, "Well, we'll have free food." And I said, "Well, what time is this Tupperware party?" So I went.
That's exactly how I would respond.
Well, and why wouldn't you? You're a poor college kid, free food. The girls made it all for us. Why not?
Girls
We're
are
gonna
there. You want to get your dick wet? Sell some
so
Tupperware.
You gotta go. You gotta go get the free food. So went in, and this lady had all these things set up, and she started talking about the different products. And I sat there and I was listening to her talk about different things that I remember having as a kid. That you just don't really put the name with the product, and just going, "Hey, yeah, we used to use that all the time. Hey, I used to have one of those." And then she started talking about the money she was making and all the different things that were going on. And I was sitting here working 6 different jobs and said, you know what? It'd be kind of nice to have control over my schedule. So I went ahead and signed up and went home to tell mom and dad, waiting to get laughed out of the house. And mom goes, "Oh, yeah, I used to sell Tupperware." Good to know. So here I am 12 years later, still doing it.
My mom used to sell Tupperware, but she was such a terrible saleswoman that she just bought all the minimum quota stuff. So we grew up with a lot of Tupperware stuff around the house.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it.
No. Well, we Majeskis aren't as charismatic as the world thinks we are. So,
well, the nice thing about it is being a Tupperware consultant, I find that it really does sell itself because it does have such a strong history. This year is actually their 70th anniversary of the party. So it's been around forever.
Oh.
Everybody's had it. Everyone has some story about a Tupperware piece that they grew up with or that they love or they remember, that one piece they have to have. So
for us, it was the pickle thing where you can pull it out and it takes the pickles out of the juice.
Oh, yeah. Everyone needs a Piccadilly.
Yeah. They still make those?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And they have the
right.
best names for everything.
I know what my brother's getting for Christmas next year.
Piccadilly.
A little Piccadilly.
So is most of your sales come from parties?
Majority of my sales come from parties. I also do other things along the line of vendor events. I earn a lot of free Tupperware. Aside from just getting paid, we do earn products along with it. And so some of that I just don't need for my kitchen. So I go ahead and resell that to other our customers. And I also do a lot of organization. I will come in and do a complete kitchen overhaul for people to get things more organized in their life. And
that may be how we lured you into the house today.
Yeah.
Always.
Susan is looking to reorganize her art studio, so Josh was going to hook her up with some sweet storage solutions.
Always love doing custom
I
organization.
got a question for
Mhm.
you. How do you get a party going? Because it seems like if you have like a base of people they're not going to come to a Tupperware party every month. How do you keep the new people coming in?
That's a great question. The way it all started, I had a grand opening party. The person who I signed up under came and did a party for me. And then from that party, we had friends of mine who signed up to do parties with me. And then what happens is then as I go and I meet some of their friends, they're obviously people that I don't know. And that opens up brand new circles of friends. And I've met a lot of great people. I've done parties as far out as Michigan and down in Illinois. And I've been out to St. Louis. So just through family and friends, and then carrying on through that chain.
So you got to be pretty outgoing and ready to meet new people. And I mean, throwing a party at someone else's house has got to be kind of intimidating.
It absolutely is. And ironically enough, the most intimidated I've ever been is when I'm doing a party for people I know. If it's strangers, you just have this comfort where you're like, who cares what I look like or how foolish I am?
Mhm.
They don't know. They'll never see me again if they don't want to.
So
But
closer people you're more nervous with?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, especially if you find out somebody was in Tupperware, you just want to make sure that you're giving all the information that they would too. I hate being watched by anyone who's part of our sales force, but
Ooh, a secret shopper.
that would be
Ooh.
devastating. I would just ball up and cry. But definitely I enjoy going out and meeting the new people. I have made some great friends that I would never have met these people otherwise, but just through, so and so's friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that ended up having a party. Now I've partied with them, almost once a year for the last 12 years. So
You ever have a crazy Tupperware party? Get off,
I've
off the
had-
rails Tupperware party.
nothing too crazy. Some of the conversations can get out of hand where I'm just like, hey, I'm still a dude. Hey. So otherwise,
Ladies, calm down, ladies.
it's always a good time. It's always a blast. I've had gigantic parties with 20 people. We had a 50s housewife themed party. That was everyone in pearls and drinking till they were passing out. So good times there. And then also I've had really tiny parties where I walked in with 3 bags of Tupperware to show, and I had a coffee table to put it on. So it's always...
It's not always Mardi Gras.
No, not always. it's definitely something where you learn to adapt.
Okay.
So do you normally have alcohol at these parties?
I love having alcohol at these parties. It's fantastic. It's a party. It's a relaxed atmosphere. Being able to just basically sit around and chat with friends is what it comes down to, and being able to talk about a product I'm passionate about and that I want to make their life easier. And I actually enjoy my smaller parties a lot, because when I can individualize their needs and talk about what they would want out of the product, it makes me feel better that they're not being duped into something. And that's one thing that I hate the term salesman, because I'm not out to make anyone buy something that they don't need or don't want. So
yeah, I was a car salesman for a while. I hated telling people I was a car salesman.
right.
Because they're instantly like, all right, dickhead, what are you trying to do?
As soon as you're a salesman, then they're done. But that's why I enjoy the consulting side of it. I'm here to consult you. I'm here to see what your needs are and to fulfill them. So we're going to make sure that's taken care of.
And if you throw a little alcohol in,
then
the
it's all
wallets
the
are a
better.
little looser.
Well, I mean, who else gets to drink while they work?
Well, it's like we go to art galleries with Susan sometimes, and sometimes they're giving out free wine because they know that the wallets open up. When there's a little bit of social lubrication involved.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you though, when men come to a Tupperware party, my sales almost double.
Really?
Men buy more Tupperware than women, hands down. But
because we're stores.
But they're intimidated by going
Hoarders.
to the party.
Yep.
And if a husband sends his wife to a party, it's here's how much you can spend. But then the wife comes and says, "Well, I have $50." If a husband's with her, their order just jumped to $200.
I would say that men have come with a whole different perspective, because they might look at a Tupperware container and go, my coffee can of screws.
Yep.
I could fill that with my coffee can of screws instead of just keeping a coffee can, where everyone, a woman might come at a different.
Well, and I find that that's probably one of the things that's kept my business as strong as it has. Even when I've decided to pull back and do other things, I've always had that base of customers, because I come with different ideas. I've had women who will message me on Facebook and say, well, I bought this container. What should I use it for? And they were thinking, well, it's a sandwich keeper. It's for sandwiches. Well, that's great. But did you think about maybe a travel first aid kit, or maybe something to take your makeup around?
Yeah.
Put something else in it. And then as soon as I start giving those ideas, they get excited again, because they don't think about it. I've had family members of Susan's, actually, when we were living in our apartments out in Cedarburg, I got a panicked call from her sister. She had earned a whole ton of Tupperware from a party she had, and we were going through it because it was falling out of her cabinets because she had too much shoved in there. And so she wanted me to organize it. And I said, what is this? You're not going to use it for food. Put it in your bathroom and store your jewelry in it. And so it was taking stuff out of the kitchen. And when you think Tupperware, you automatically think kitchen.
Yep.
Tupperware is so much more than that. So.
Yeah. I know my dad uses Tupperware for, as you saw, a cigarette container.
Yeah. His prison go box. It's all cigarettes and rolls of
Sometimes
quarters.
he will, if he just wants to fish with a couple lures, he will throw it in, now it's a tackle box.
Yep.
So it's just different ideas that I think men and women might come with that is really cool.
Absolutely. And that's been one of their marketing things since the early 50s. They used to put out a picture of his Tupperware and her Tupperware. It was all the same Tupperware, but on the one hand, hers maybe had some cookies in the canister. His was full of tobacco for his pipe.
Yeah.
Gotta love the 50s.
Stay
classy. They had Fred Flintstone doing
Well, I know
cigarette
hunters.
commercials.
Hunters tend to use Tupperware quite a bit. It's like that's probably for guys like, hey, keep all your hunting,
Gotta be
like when you're
camo
out,
mitts.
Dry.
yeah, keeping it dry,
Dry
putting your
is
phones.
big time.
The other thing that you'll notice about it is something I found, and nobody likes to admit it, but we had a mouse problem for a while, and I had a sister who liked to throw stuff into the attic, and she had Tupperware, and she had some off-brand. The ones that were off-brand had been chewed through by mice because they could smell the content. Anything that was Tupperware was untouched. So it was interesting to go through and see that, and it was every single other piece of plastic had been chewed to bits. except for the Tupperware pieces.
Because the scent didn't get through?
They couldn't smell through it, and even if they...
So if you're trying to get pot through an airport...
Tupperware, baby.
Tupperware, man. The
I'm
dogs
looking for
won't...
something that'll be small enough to go next to my thigh and won't drape on my clothing.
Nice and thin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little Tupperware flask, maybe.
Awesome.
Oh, we've got that.
Tupperware flask?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
What-
What doesn't
Excuse
Tupperware
me?
do?
Well, they call it a flask. It's really a coffee mug. It's metal now.
No.
So,
I'm still bummed. I had a Tupperware coffee mug that he had gotten me. It was orange and brown, which I really liked. I thought it was super cool, and someone stole it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
some people get really attached
Yeah,
to
they
Tupperware.
get, man, the Tupperware is high in demand.
I
I
got
had
a
so much
Tupperware
Tupperware stolen from me.
Bowl that I use for cereal, no matter what, all, like, since I was born. It's this green, ugly, pea green
Yep.
Tupperware. I know you know the bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's got that bowl. It's got the handles on it.
Mhm.
That is my cereal bowl. Every time.
Love them.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the top-selling products? What's hot right now?
Yeah, what's hot in Tupperware?
You know what's hot in Tupperware right now is they always talk about the fact that you've got about 80% of what we have now in the catalog is no longer just bowls and storage. We have diversified everything that we have to do more of the prep, and so we have choppers and we have other things of that nature.
Cutting
but
boards and stuff.
the
right?
biggest thing right now is microwave cooking. People want quick homemade meals.
That's how I survived
And
so
that's-
many years. Rock and serve.
And Susan knows. I would always try out new recipes with her when I was first starting
did
out.
you guys make cake out of soda?
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
we used to make soda
Except
cakes.
that I'm notoriously a bad cook, and the soda cake that we made, we flipped it over, and it just kind
In
of
a
dribbled
mug,
out all
wasn't it?
over.
What the
No,
hell is
we-
a soda cake?
So we took a box of cake mix and added a can of soda.
Like
It was
Coca-Cola.
We took Sprite and put it in with this white cake mix, and then we were trying something new. That was, you experiment at home so you don't mess up at a party. So Susan and I were hanging out, and I said, I'm going to try this. So I brought over the piece of Tupperware, and we mixed it all up, and we added fresh fruit into it. I think we did, or maybe it was frozen fruit, like peaches and some
Yeah.
other stuff, because then we had some ice cream we were going to put with it. And apparently when you put fruit into a cake mix, you should cook it a little longer,
Yes.
because all of the liquid that was coming out of it then made it all runny. So we flipped it over and just ran all over the plate.
It didn't work.
But we did put it back in the microwave, and we gave it a few more minutes, and it actually turned out pretty good. We did eat it, but yeah, you learn and you
Yeah.
do better next time. But right now they're all about the microwave cooking, and we've got some great products right now. Our pressure cooker for the microwave and our stack cooker and
Pressure cooker for the microwave?
Oh yeah, you do.
How does that work? I'm curious.
Well, the pressure
What is that?
cooker, obviously is made a little thicker, so it's going to withstand any kind of microwaves and all the other things that are coming at it. I can do pulled barbecue chicken in about 20 minutes.
In a microwave?
In the microwave. I'll put
Wow.
it in for 15 minutes with just a cup of barbecue and a cup of...
From frozen or from thawed?
I'll do frozen chicken. I'll take frozen chicken
Okay.
breasts, about 6 of them, put them in
Wow.
there, and then add in my cup of barbecue and a cup of root beer and put in for 15 minutes.
Oh,
pull it
you
out.
get that dark Texas barbecue.
It's
yeah.
good stuff. It's good stuff. So yeah, it's been one of those things that as they bring out these new products, and they've really pushed.
Wow, that's cool.
But then my favorite thing right now, though, that came out about 2 years ago, is our microwave grill. It is actually metal. It goes right in the microwave, and it does grill your
Metal
food.
in the microwave?
Metal in the microwave.
Whoa.
And they actually have 3 patents out on this product.
Yeah. I put some aluminum foil in a microwave once, and it looked like
Go well.
it looked like the Terminator was showing up, like just electricity. Yeah, it didn't
See,
work.
this is why you do the party, and you find out all these things.
Yeah.
And so this grill goes right in the microwave, and I've done burgers, I've done lasagna in it. It actually, you can use it as a casserole dish as well. So I use it for just about everything. It's my new go-to product. It's also the way that we reheat pizza at our house now, because it crisps up that bottom and melts down the cheese. And
I put it on a pan. when I do
and that's
pizza.
exact. And so to be able to do that, but then in a quarter of the time, so I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not heating
and not
up
dirty
the
a
oven.
pan.
Absolutely. So, and it cleans out so nice and quick. It also, Tupperware designed it, because I did see something similar on QVC a few weeks ago, but when they took the thermometer and touched it to the metal, it was at like 600 plus degrees. And when you have something cooking that hot, it's just burning. Well, Tupperware, actually, their susceptors that they have the patent for, they get to 425 degrees and stop. So they're not burning your food. They are just grilling it up and cooking it. So it's
That's
fantastic.
some science shit, man.
And it takes them years to finalize all that stuff. And then they run it by us consultants and then finally put it
Does
out for
NASA
customers.
use Tupperware?
They should if they're not.
Build
But
the new space shuttle out of it.
Yeah, out of Tupperware. It just cools it down as you enter the
Oh
atmosphere.
my god, it's brilliant. You heard it right here.
Yeah.
NASA.
So,
You gotta partner with Tupperware.
speaking of science, you said you've taught. Have you ever used Tupperware in the classroom?
He has teached very good.
Tupperware and where?
In the classroom?
Always.
All the kids know that Mr. J sells Tupperware because I come in with my Tupperware water bottle, different color every day. And they always...
It's a bit of a tip-off.
Ooh, where'd you get that one? Well, I sell it, so I just happen to have one. So, can I buy one too? Send your parents in. So, they all know, they love that I'm the Tupperware guy. That means a lot to them, apparently. So
There's no science experiments you've done?
No, I try not to do too many science experiments.
Okay.
Is that how you want us to put it on the website? Josh, the Tupperware guy?
You could. I usually go by the...
You have to put Mr. Josh.
Mr.
J?
Josh, the Tupper-man-ager.
Oh.
That's been my title for a long time now, so... Yeah.
Tupperware manager.
Manager, yep.
So do you have salespeople working beneath you?
Yeah,
Like you told me once you had like a team.
I have a team that I've had several people come in and out. Right now I'm at about 4 people. I haven't had much time to be recruiting because I haven't been holding as many parties as I normally do. But I do have a good team that's out there just spreading the word and doing what they need.
Spread the good word.
And the nice thing about it is Tupperware is
Tupper
one of those
word.
things that, you come in and you do what works for you. And so if you're looking for a little bit of extra money, you're going to make a little extra money. If you're looking for it to be a job, then it's going to be your job. So
it's a good side job that you could just do like almost like Uber, like on the side. I do it once or twice a week, or do you think it's more demanding?
I feel like it depends on what you're looking for. And it definitely is one of the things where I can coach my team. If they say this is what I'm looking for, we're going to coach you to make sure that you're making that. And so it's something that you can kind of have more flexibility over. But absolutely, the biggest thing is Tupperware isn't for everyone, but it's for everyone to try.
Okay.
So
when you got into Tupperware, did you have, like you said, your ma sold Tupperware?
She did, and it was long before any of us kids came around. She sold back in the 70s, I guess, in the Chicago area.
I remember my parents dragging me when I was a kid. I hated it. 6-year-old boy at a Tupperware party with his mom. Ugh.
See, and we didn't get taken to them, but Mom would host every once in a while, and I remember, I guess I didn't really realize what it was, but I knew that some lady came in with some stuff to show these other ladies. But then we would be laying underneath the table playing with whatever toy she brought. Or
I remember just wine everywhere.
Wine everywhere.
Just wine everywhere. Just a bunch of middle-aged 1980s housewives with wine everywhere.
I seem to remember you.
And why would
telling me-
guys not want to go to that? That's just lit up ladies. Fucking yeah, that sounds awesome.
Well, they're all married women, so.
Well, isn't one of the biggest
So?
Tupperware sellers a drag queen?
Was at one point. We have a few different guys, and they all find their own niche and their own way to sell it. We did have well, he was a drag queen. Now he's a woman. So
Hey, go
There
team!
you go.
he was number one for years, selling literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Tupperware in a year. Ended up quitting his full-time job and was just focused on that. But that's been a while. But we've got quite a few guys actually that are out there, and the guys tend to be the top sellers. I don't know if it's because we feel like we have something to prove or what, but
Maybe.
so. But there's, out of all the consultants in the U.S. and Canada, there's about 1%, I believe was the last statistic I saw. 1% of us are guys.
Huh.
And I'm probably part of the 1% that does
Represent.
it as a man. So
I don't know. I heard that people are just more comfortable with a man who is over 30 to buy stuff from.
Interesting.
For some reason. Just an older man, even though they probably know all the skills and how to rip you off better.
Yeah.
People just are more comfortable. That's what I heard.
I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want some. Well, how old were you when you were a car salesman? Weren't you like 25 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to buy a car from a
shyster.
25-year-old guy.
Yeah.
No offense.
But a 40-year-old guy,
It's a little better.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
He'll
there you
right
go.
around the temples.
No, I've been selling cards for 15 years, dude. I am going to bend you over this barrel and make you feel good about it.
Like a gentleman.
Yeah, you are going to love it when I bend you over this barrel. My 25-year-old self would have gave you a deal. But now I'm way too, good of a salesman. So
what's the biggest party score? Like the biggest, most amount of money you made in a single day as Tupperware?
he sold a Tupperware to Snoop Dogg in an airport.
He needed a bowl.
Yeah.
The biggest Tupperware party I ever had. Oh man, that's a good question.
For the record,
so
I'm
many.
not saying like this is what you do every day.
I've had
curious.
so many
What's the
parties.
top?
A big blowout.
I would say close to $2,000. A $2,000 party, just right around there. I
a lot of free
couldn't
bonus
even tell
stuff.
you. Oh yeah, they made out like none other. I've had hosts who have gotten more free than what they sold. But definitely, just a huge party.
So you say, so what's in it for the host?
The host gets benefits based on the sales. I bring them gifts anyway, just because I am who I am, and I like to spoil my hosts and thank them for keeping my business alive. But they also get free stuff that they get to go shopping, a little shopping spree. Right now, actually, for the month of January, we have double host credits going on, which is always exciting. So I love when they throw that kind of stuff at us. So we're able to give them even more. So.
What's the minimum size of a party? Like if it was just you, me, and Susan, could we call that a party?
Oh, absolutely. There's no number limit. I've had parties with two people that were $400 parties because I was able to really work on what they needed. But the minimum party for a host to get credit for is $250. Once they're at $250, they get a thank you gift, and then they get to do a little 10% shopping spree. So $25 that they get to pick out of the catalog. So
it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Well, you can also do a fundraiser too.
Oh, absolutely.
I've done a Tupperware fundraiser when I kind of like a Kickstarter-ish type deal. When I went on a trip over to Europe, I was taking like 3 months out of my life to do this. I did a fundraiser for myself, and I let people know exactly what I was raising money for. And
you weren't going around saying this is for Timmy who needs a leg.
No, I didn't. I literally told him, I was like, well, I'm doing this thing. It's really cool, and I kind of explained what I was doing, which was a hiking trip. And you can actually do a fundraiser for yourself. So
Spoiler alert, trip didn't happen.
Shoosh.
It
So
tried
what
to
happened
happen.
to all the funds?
That was your Susan got pickpocketed in a church. and
That's where the
lost her
funds
ID
went.
and everything.
Oh,
Yes, that's when I got my ass robbed.
some thief.
In a church, no less.
Yes.
Oh,
Got
On
my
a
ass
pilgrimage
robbed in a
trail.
church.
They'll
Yes.
get theirs.
damn.
But there's so that's kind of cool that you can do that through Tupperware
Mm-hmm.
versus like a pizza fundraiser or something where it's disposable.
And I think those are the things that people, because they hear Tupperware, they think, oh yeah, Tupperware parties, old hat. But when you talk about the fundraising opportunities and the custom kitchen organization and all the other things that we offer, that there's so much more to it than what it used to be.
Yeah, they're changing with the times, right?
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
So what's the most unlikely thing in the catalog that I'm never going to guess is in there?
A Tupperware condom.
Oh my God.
Reusable, dishwasher safe.
The most... I don't know. It's hard to say. I would say that the grill is probably up there with
Okay.
one of those things that people aren't expecting. They open up to that and they're like, wait. And again, they'll do the metal in the microwave. You can't do that. I said, well, I do. So tough to you. But, so that's probably the most unlikely thing that we run into. But people also, they'll always, when I bring my pots and pans to the party, because when they think Tupperware, you're thinking plastics, you're thinking bowls, so when I bring these metal pots and pans,
Mark and I used to play pots and pans. You may want to explain that.
That was actually James.
Yeah.
It was
I was
lost a bet at WrestleMania, and he had to walk up and down the sidewalk banging pots and pans together.
With his pants down.
Yeah, because the Undertaker won or something, or
Yeah.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, now picture this dude, pants down, just beating pots.
I give him credit, he did it, and this was down by like Little Caesars in Grafton.
Yeah, it was main drag, and this dude is pants down.
He did it.
So, anyway, I just had to, it
Side
reminded me of pots and pans. I'm like, oh man. Because we would always do a bet. We're like, dude, if you lose, pots and pans. You're outside right now with the pots and pans.
Well, I think now if they lose, they have to buy the Tupperware pots and pans.
There you go. Mal, let's do a bet. You're going to do pots and pans.
No, I'm not.
It's cold. Oh,
right.
yeah.
So you said you've had a whole bunch of other jobs. Do you have any fun stories you'd be willing to share with us about, say, daycare or...
You ever hit a kid?
No, I've never had to hit a kid. They know when to back down. When Mr. J makes that face or gives that voice, they know it's time to relax.
Mm-hmm.
But probably one of the most interesting things that happened to me, or awkward, was I was at a school and it was my first time subbing there. It was a few years back. And it was a decent school. It's a nice school, very reputable, and it was huge. And I couldn't find where I was supposed to go anyway, and there was no one to help me out. So I had to, for whatever reason, I had to help out with recess. And I would go into this giant gym, and they have like badminton set up for the kids to play. And so I'm just overseeing them playing whatever. This kid goes running up with his badminton racket and jumps at the net, turns around and starts walking away. The net's coming with him. He got his button on his butt stuck in this net. So as the sub, I'm over there trying to figure out, without touching this kid, how to get this off of him. So I'm like, all right, I've been here for 10 minutes. I've already had to touch a kid's butt. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for that phone call. So I finally went and I tracked down another teacher and had them
touch his butt.
Unhook him. Because I was like, I don't work here. I'm not going to deal with this. But then sure enough, that kid was in my next class. So I was like, oh, so they got you out. Good. So
Good.
That was very, very awkward for me just to have to deal with that right off the bat. But,
that's got to be hard.
But
yeah, where's your boundaries?
Exactly.
The kid wants to be out of the net, but
at
you
the same
are
time, you're
totally
like,
dude, you got to stay in the net till your parents come.
Yep, till the end of the day.
So when you substitute, kids ever try to mess with you?
They got to.
I am trying to mess with me. I mean, they catch on pretty quick that I know exactly what they're doing. I just don't care enough to stop it. So, I mean, I've had kids who, one kid was reading a book, but he was really playing on his phone. And so I just kind of ignored it. So I'm like, hey, you're sitting quiet. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as you're not causing a ruckus. But then, of
That's
course,
pretty much the job of a sub, right?
Yeah.
It's just to keep the train rolling a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So nothing too ridiculously crazy. Just a lot of random stuff. Just things constantly come at you and you just adapt to it. So
I got a feeling you're going to just bust out with and also that one kid stabbed me in the heart.
Nothing of that nature yet.
You didn't lead with that?
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Mr. Josh and I have worked at a couple different places together. Mm-hmm. And we've both worked in settings where we're watching over children. And then we also worked in an adult day center where we were watching over older folks of various different dementias. And which is harder?
Yeah, who's more naughty?
See, Josh, the best story, Josh's interview when he first got hired at this adult day center, which we won't name names. The day of his interview ended up being probably one of the worst days at our day center because one of the people got out.
I was trying to leave
and got into his van. It was sitting there.
I was trying to leave and everyone was in a panic looking for this person who had disappeared.
Dementia. He had dementia. And we found out this
So he thinks he's on the A-team. He gets in Josh's van.
Not only that, this individual, he was a man who could no longer speak and had dementia and Alzheimer's that bad that he's lost his speaking ability. So everybody all he can say is yes. So when you talk to him, no matter what you say to him, he says yes. And he was an engineer in his previous life. Yes, he was an engineer in his previous life, and he designed the codes to get in and out of the doors.
The security system.
And somewhere in his mind, he could recall the override code and typed in the override code to unlock the door.
Which, by the way, the code you just spell out "fuck you" and then the door.
Yeah, he knows the override code. So during Josh's interview, he walked out. And he knew in the back of his mind his wife has a van and got into Josh's van. Meanwhile, Josh's interview is over and everybody's like doing our normal alarm system where you look in the bathrooms, you start looking outside, like how does this individual who was there all of a sudden be gone? He's sitting in Josh's van.
He was waiting very patiently for me.
So you come out to leave,
hey, buddy.
And you're just...
Well, no, they finally were like, whose van is out there with the door open? Well, sure enough, one of my doors doesn't lock, and so he had slid it open and got in. So just
He was ready to go.
Luckily, it looked like his wife's van, so he didn't try to go anywhere else. But, yep.
All right. That's an awesome story.
I don't know what I would do if I just saw someone sitting
kids
in my
or adults,
car. Like,
who are harder?
do I go in the car?
That's a good question. I think that what we found was that it was a very similar experience, whether you're working with kids or adults. I mean, it's still helping them get to food and get to bathrooms. But I would say it's definitely physically taxing with adults, because to physically have to move them somewhere or to help them up takes a lot more than picking up a 30-pound kid and toss him across the room.
Convincing them to
the
do
adult
something.
has a lot more behind his punch.
Absolutely. So
Can throw his weight into it.
We also had a couple of ladies at the day center take a fancy to him.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one in
It's always
particular, she the first day he walked through, she grabbed a hold of him. It's like, hey, you want to marry me?
Yeah, she took my ring at one point, put it on her finger.
Yep.
Oh my, a promise ring?
Apparently, but I did take it back, so broke her little heart,
Aw.
She was about, what, 94?
at least.
Wow. Hey, older the berry, the sweeter the wine.
Well, this particular lady had pumpkin orange hair and lots of
At
rings.
90
Yes,
something.
pumpkin orange hair. She was quite the character.
Sweet as can be.
Close your eyes and think of Lucille Ball.
Actually, that's not a bad comparison.
Yeah. All
Pretty
right.
close.
Well, you want to wrap her up?
Okay. So we are. Thank you, Josh, for coming
Thank
on.
you very
short
much.
notice.
Thanks for having me. I
Kinda
appreciate
twisted
that.
your arm and surprised you into doing this.
Yep.
Thanks for being.
We
a
held
good
you down
sport.
like a 90-year-old red-haired chick.
So we are Tom and Mark Off the Rails. Our website is theunipodcast.com. On Twitter, we are at Unipodcast. Facebook.com/Unipodcast. You too can ask Tom anything at AskTomAnything414@gmail.com. This podcast is available on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and all your favorite podcast hosting sites. See our website for more details.
Come to our website. You're going to buy some shit on Amazon. Just click it. We get
Use our
10%.
link and
We're
we
getting
get
a
a little
bonus.
taste
We're
of the
getting a
action.
kickback. We're making money. And remember, universe, we're not good enough.
Yerp.
Yerp.